Welcome back to the channel. My name is Joseph Gutierrez, and this is covering compounding. In today's video, we're going over our favorite annuity for 2026. This particular annuity has some interesting features that can give us that guaranteed income that'll supplement any retirement portfolio. So let's take a look. All right, let's go ahead and focus in on our favorite annuity for 2026. Now, this is a guaranteed income type annuity. Okay, remember our retirement ready triangle, the base part of the triangle, the largest part, arguably the most important part, guaranteed income. If we don't have our income figured out for retirement, we're going to have some problems. Okay, a lot of people will loosely rely on a 4% withdrawal rate rule and try and make it through and wing it through retirement. That doesn't always work out, especially if the market is not cooperating. You can run into a lot of trouble very quickly. Okay, but without further ado, let's go ahead and talk about our favorite annuity carrier and annuity for 2026. So this is Midland National. Okay, this is their income planning annuity. Okay, so what are the reasons why we like this particular annuity over other types? Remember, whatever annuity comes up for you that's best for you depends on your situation. We just see Midland kind of rise to the top more often than not. So what's one reason that we like Midland National? Well, for one, in our example we're going to be looking at today, we have high lifetime withdrawal rates. Okay, in our example today, so we have a 63-year-old male putting some money into an annuity, and he's going to get somewhere in the order about 7.42% withdrawal rate for him. Okay, so when we're looking at annuities, we want to know what kind of withdrawal rate are we going to get that's guaranteed for life, and which is obviously much better than the 4% withdrawal rate rule from a retirement equity portfolio that may or may not be able to support that 4% withdrawal rate rule. Okay. Next, the other reason that we really like Midland is the fact that we have a compounding increase in our withdrawal rate. Okay, so our withdrawal rate percentage, right? Our withdrawal rate percentage every year, every anniversary sequence that we defer, we get an increase in the amount of income that we can possibly be drawing from. So instead of having some kind of roll-up rates and this funky calculation with benefit base and all this other stuff, MidLife keeps it pretty easy to understand. Okay, whatever money we're moving over, there's just going to apply a percentage against it, and that is our income. So in this case, this 63-year-old male gained 7.42% in the first year. Well, if he defers for 1 year, multiply that by 1.1 or a 10% increase. That's your new amount. Again, the next year, the next year, the next year, every year that you defer for up to 10 years, you get an additional compounded 10% more in your withdrawal rate, which is pretty amazing stuff. Okay. Now, I know a lot of individuals will compare this to their stock portfolio that they may hold with a financial advisor, or there's just something they're doing on their own. They say, hey, well, I get 10% on average in my stocks. Okay, whether you have direct investing, you're against some benchmark like the S&P 500. The issue is this 10% average is actually a 30-year average of the S&P 500. Not everybody's getting that 10%, so you may want to actually look at your numbers. But generally speaking, it's actually closer to about 8% if you're not reinvesting your dividends. But let's do a little thought experiment. Let's say we are getting that 10% per year, and we're also getting our 10% increase in our annuity. Okay, so look at it this way. Let's say we have a 10-year period and we're increasing our account balance 10% every year, but once in 10 years we have a recession. and that recession takes the market down 30%. So let's assume we're making 10% year after year compounded, and so around the sixth year, we have a recession. Okay, that recession knocks us down and we slowly come back out of it. Okay, do the numbers, do the math. What you'll see is that your effective rate of return, your annual rate of return, will look more like 5% compared to 10%, just with that one recessionary period in the middle of your 10-year period, okay, of accumulation, getting ready for retirement. Okay, then apply the 4% withdrawal rate rule. You're not making a whole lot of money on your initial balance. Let's assume those 500,000. You're not making a whole lot of money, maybe closer to $33,000 a year if you're following the standard 4% rule and being tied a lot to stocks and the sort. Conversely, if we put our money into an annuity like the annuity through Midland, what are we going to get? We're going to get an increase, a guaranteed increase of 10% per year for up to 10 years. Okay, if we take that and extrapolate out, we're increasing our payout rate to the point where we're making, by the time it's our 9th, 10th, 11th year, we're making over 85 or so $1,000 per year, okay, on our money, assuming that we started with $500,000 roughly 10 years ago. We're going to look at the exact numbers here in just a moment, but the differences are stark, okay? And having this extra money in retirement, especially in the kind of economic environment that we're in, can make the difference between a hardship in retirement and a worry-free or less worry retirement. Okay, very important. Okay, so not only that, so we can see that we have a better return on our money as far as income goes based using this particular annuity. What is the third item that we really like from Midland? Well, the anniversary period is based on our birth date. Now this is pretty cool. Okay, so it's based on the birth date. So normally with annuities or any other kind of insurance-based product, you have an anniversary period based on the policy date. So when you make your first premium payment or when the policy was issued, that's kind of your anniversary period. And then every year thereafter is a new policy year. Well, Midland does this a little differently, and it'll say, okay, the anniversary period is based on your birth date. So if you have a birth date that is, say, 2 months from now, okay, and you put together your annuity and get it all issued and funded, well, you'll automatically have that jump up in potential income. That increase in your payout will take place in that 2 month period as opposed to having to wait a full year. So a lot of people, if they have their birthday in the next 3 weeks, they'll hurry up and run. Once they find this out, that this particular annuity carrier does things a little bit differently and that they utilize your birth date as opposed to the anniversary period, which will give us an extra year or a year a little bit faster than we would get with any other carrier. All right, so now that we have our three features that we like about Midland, let's go ahead and look at a hypothetical example of a 63-year-old male and how he can put his money to work so that he can have a heightened guaranteed income that he can't get anywhere else. Let's check it out. All right, let's go ahead and hone in here on our annuity of choice here. This is going to be the Midland National Annuity here, the income planning annuity that they have, Midland National Life. So remember, for this particular client, we're going to be looking at a 63-year-old male. He's in Washington State. He has about $500,000 that he'd like to allocate towards a guaranteed income type annuity. Okay, remember, for him, he wants that guaranteed income to last him throughout retirement. No matter what's going on in the economy, he can depend on that check. The rest of his portfolio is going to be in stocks and real estate and things like that, some different asset classes that he can take some of the pressure off of his retirement portfolio by putting on a guaranteed type product. He can take risk elsewhere without having to worry so much. Okay, so he doesn't have to depend on the 4% rule, which doesn't always hold up. It's really supposed to be the 3% rule. We've talked about this in previous videos, but nonetheless, let's take a look at our hypothetical client. So we have our 63-year-old male, and he's putting in $500,000. Now, initially, he'd like to to defer until age 68. So he's going to defer for 5 years and then take out his funds in the 6th year. And as we can see here, we can see a whole list of different annuity carriers. Okay, and just as a note, if you are interested in looking into what annuity carriers stack up the best, and if Midland National is the top of your list, feel free to check out our link in our description. It's going to take you to our website where you can put in your information and get a free print screen with the same kind of information we're looking at here for your situation. Okay, so just basic information, your state, the amount of money you want to put in there, single or joint, and your deferral period. Remember, the longer we defer, the greater our payout will be, and these are guaranteed income type policies here. Okay, but nonetheless, you can do that. It's free, there's nothing to it, and it's just a printout that we send you, just a service that we provide to our potential clients. But going back to our example here for a 63-year-old male, let's go ahead and click on the illustration and get a deeper view here. Okay, so it's Midland National Life, the income plan annuity. On the first screen here, we can see the guaranteed values and that quality here. We can see that we're guaranteed to get those step up in the lifetime withdrawal rate. Okay, starting after the first year, it's 8.17%, 8.98, and on until, let's assume that he starts taking income beginning of his 6th year. He's going to be getting out on the order of $59,800 year after year for as long as he lives. Okay, and this is the guaranteed values ledger. Okay, we talked about how to read these ledgers. Okay, and the most important thing is that the interest crediting that we receive from any indexing participation or allocations that we have, it doesn't matter what's going on in that part of the annuity, we have that guaranteed step up in our income for as long as we defer it. Okay, and we can look at the hypothetical values down on the page here. We can see even with the index crediting, it doesn't affect our annual withdrawals. So let's scroll on down here, look at some particulars about the annuity. Okay, and before we go too far, let's say our client here does exactly as he plans. He would be taking out $59,800 per year, and if he lived to age 95, 96 years old, he'd be taking out $1.674 million, okay, throughout his retirement. It's all guaranteed. And again, he could live past 95. He's still going to get that same check of $59,800. Okay, so nice thing about Midland National is that it is based on the contract birthday of the owner. We can see that right here. Okay, so this includes the lifetime payment increase mechanic that raises the guaranteed income out by 10% for every contract birthday of the owner, not policy year, birthday. So if your birthday is coming up, this is an annuity that you want to potentially look on, because you can get that free jump on your lifetime income there by increasing a year very quickly. Okay, so we can see the unique features. This is the 10% guaranteed lifetime payment amount for each birthday up to 10 years, okay, after which it goes to about 2%, okay. The wait for 8 concept, so basically your guaranteed payout would double every 8 years or so, okay. So that's the rule 72, and they call it wait for 8, okay, that same thing. So yes, we have the guaranteed lifetime withdrawal benefit rider, okay, that supports this lifetime payout. It's a 1.25% charge, but remember that charge comes from the accumulation value. If we look up here, okay, it comes from our accumulation value, which has no effect on our actual income, which is what these policies are for. They're for income, they're not for accumulation or any of that. So it doesn't really affect most people, okay? Remember, we are trying to build our total guaranteed income however much we can between now and the day we decide to turn on that income, okay? Now moving on down here, we'll take a look at the guaranteed lifetime income based on the start year. So remember, okay, at issue, age 63, like we were saying earlier, going to get 7.42% on our money. So that's a withdrawal rate of 7.42%. If we wait a number of years, we can see that if we were to if our client here would withdraw at age 68, he has an effective withdrawal rate of 11.96%, which supports that $59,800. And if he went all the way up to, let's say, 10 years or so, he can see a withdrawal percentage of 17.51%. So, of course, it depends on when you want to take income. Okay, some people change their minds halfway through. They may want to take income a few years out. Maybe I'll wait a little bit longer, have a juicier paycheck as I go through retirement. It's totally up to you. Okay, that decision when you take on income is up to you, the owner of the annuity. And whenever you decide to turn it on, then you can set in that lifetime income, and you can get that check month after month, year after year, backed by the insurance carrier. Okay. All right, thank you for watching. In today's video, we went over our favorite annuity carrier for 2026, okay, Midland National Life, and we talked about their income planning annuity, and it has superior results as far as guaranteed income for life, okay, whether it's yourself or a joint annuitant, okay. This particular annuity has some really interesting features like the birthday, anniversary year, and stuff like that a lot of clients look at and, hey, want to take advantage of if they can. Okay, so feel free to check out our webpage and see if this is a particular annuity. You can do your own research through our annuity quote tool, as we talked about. Also, be sure to pick up your free copy of our ebook. Okay, this is the Retirement Ready ebook. We've talked about this in one of our intro videos, but all the different layers to our philosophy on retirement income. Okay, guaranteed income, health security, and our accumulation block, and how they all come together for a worry-free and prosperous retirement, how each one of them is very important and taking it together in conjunction so that you can have that retirement that you've worked so hard for. Okay, thanks again for watching. If you are interested in putting together your own annuity, if you're ready to look at your options as it comes for guaranteed income annuities, life insurance-based products, things like that, feel free to click the link in the description. It'll take you to our webpage where you can see much of our information, the annuity quote tool, articles. You can also click for a free online consultation. Click the Book Now button. It'll bring you to our scheduling page where you can fill in your information, what you're looking to do with a annuity or any other one of our products. And during that first consultation, it's basically a discovery call, just getting an idea of what you're trying to do, what are your goals, what are your fears for retirement, and how we can best serve you so that you can have the retirement that you deserve. Okay, thanks for watching once again. Be sure to click like and subscribe, ring the bell for new notifications on our future videos, and I look forward to helping you become retirement ready. Until next time.